Hi, everyone. This is a short video on how to identify academic resources when you do your literature review assignment that is coming up. And so I wanted to give you a brief overview of how you can find articles that you know are peer-reviewed. So what you see on my screen is the WVU website, the homepage. You can get to WVU libraries from here if you scroll down and go to libraries. You can go directly to the library website. If not, though, if you forget how to get there, you can go through WVU's main page. The library has a lot of good information, and so you can search for pretty much anything you might want to think about in terms of academic books or articles, media examples. If you have a textbook in a class, you might search the WVU library page to see if they have an electronic version or some other type of version for you so that you don't have to purchase it, or you can just read a chapter from it. So there's a lot of good resources at the library. If you don't want to go to the library physically, you don't need to. If you have an assignment like the literature review assignment that's coming up, um, you don't necessarily need to go to the library. You can search online. If you are using this if you're using this from home or you're not using WVU internet, you're not on their network. You can still access the library, but it will prompt you to sign in using your credentials at WVU. So if you get stuck and it hasn't asked you to sign in, there's something that is preventing that. So once you sign in, you'll have access to everything. Now, when you get to the library page, we're going to click on databases because I want to show you, if you haven't yet used PsycInfo, it's a database that has tons and tons of articles. You would be able to find anything and everything you would need and more for your literature sources assignment, for the literature review, whatever you need to look for this assignment, the semester-long project, you would be able to find through this database. So we are going to go to databases. And we are going to type in PsycInfo, and that's how it is spelled. And we just click our little search button, and we're going to click yes, we want to search PsycInfo. And once that pulls up, there we go. Once that pulls up, you'll see that there's another search bar that will let you search for whatever topic you're studying. So let me show you how this works and how the strategies that you can use in finding targeted and applicable resources for your project and not having to wade through thousands upon thousands. So let's say I just got into this screen. I'm interested in studying fathers. And I know I have my 2 research questions, but I'm just going to search fathers and see what comes up. So I do that and I wait for it to come up. 88,000 hits, 88,000 results come up. Ton. That is a ton. Am I going to look through that many? No. And so I can see the top hit. It's going to look for what's most relevant to my search. That is nothing that I would want to study. It's very important. I am not interested in teacher-student relationships, how how father-child relationships interact with that. So that already is not something that I'm interested in. Well, that is kind of interesting to me. So, and he's a great researcher. Anyway, academic crush. We have academic crushes, and he is one of mine. But so we have all these sources that pull up, may or may not be interesting to me. So we're going to refine this. So when you get to you type in PsycInfo, you get to this page. We're going to go ahead and click advanced. We will be fancy and advanced. So let's say I'm interested in fathers, but I'm also interested in divorced fathers. Now see how I'm pointing to the screen. See how all these options pull up for you. So these, you can kind of start to see how do I need to word my search terms to help out. I'm just going to write divorce. Even though it gives me a lot. Oops, I don't want to search for that. But you'll see now I'm already down to 2,800, about a little under 3,000 sources. Much better. Let me go back and search but you'll see here it's searching now for fathers and divorce. Let me go back one more time and add one more clarifying thing. Let's say I'm interested in fathers who are divorced, but I also want to think about their involvement with their kids. So I'm going to search for involvement, fathers and divorced and involvement. So it's going to search for all three of those things. Let's go down here and limit our searches or our results even more. I don't want to go to the library necessarily and look for a hard copy. I'm going to say I want the linked full text. Whoops, full text. I know for this assignment, I need to have peer-reviewed articles and sources. I'm going to click peer-reviewed. You can search English language. There's few things that this search will result with non-English language. I'm going to leave that blank, although it's fine to click that. I'm also going to click this exclude dissertations. My dissertation was was almost 200 pages. You do not want to use a dissertation. For that reason is enough. They're long because that's the purpose of a dissertation, is to fully explain what you've done. It's also not peer reviewed though, so wouldn't meet the requirements. If you used a dissertation, it would not be considered a peer reviewed resource. And so it would not count towards your required literature sources. So go ahead and exclude dissertations. They're fantastic documents. You don't need to read them. Most people will go out and publish what they've studied in their dissertation. So I had three, I think, papers come out from my dissertation. That's much more doable. They're about 20 pages, so a lot more usable, but they're also peer reviewed. Now, if I want to go further and look at publication year, I might say, I know that divorced father involvement was studied in the late, in the 1990s, 1980s, early 2000s. I want to use sources that are more recent. So I'm going to say, let's keep it from 2010 to 2026. I could also do this. These past 5 years, past 10 years. You could go to past 10 years, you could go to past 5 years, depending on what you want. So we do all those, and then we click search. So the first search, if you remember, over 88,000, we narrowed it down to divorce, fathers and divorce, and it was about just under 3,000. With all those other between adding involvement, adding my linked full text, adding peer reviewed, reducing and getting rid of any dissertations that pop up, I now have 80. And so still a lot. I'm not going to pick 80 sources, but now this is a lot more relevant to what I'm searching for. Like this right here would be perfect for what I would want to do. That's within the same, within the topic for sure. I can look through and start to see, okay, do I really want do these sources really get at what I'm looking at? And so I can start to look more. Oh, there I am. It is exciting. I know that was corny. I apologize. It is exciting to see your name in print there. So you can go through and see what you want and what works for you. And so for this is probably getting maybe a little further away. And so I might click on this and see what it's about. You looked at abstracts for the conversation assignment. I think that was assignment 1. So use let's see where the abstract is. Use the abstract to see, is this something that interests you or not? If not, go on to the next one. If it does sound similar to what you're wanting to study, or it sounds like it might be useful, keep it in download the article, save it for a closer look. But if it doesn't, if you're reading the abstract, or if you see in a keyword, I really don't care much about the social and institutional responsibilities. Get rid of it, go on to the next one. And so that is how you can do a search. And so we'll do another search here. Some of you wanted to study, you had child development. And so one of my pieces of feedback was, let's narrow that down because that's huge. And so you'll see with child development, almost 200,000 hits come up for that. Way too big, right? That's already been reduced by linking full text, by peer reviewed, by eliminating dissertations. If you are studying child development, you need to know what within child development. If you're looking at social and emotional social and emotional development, in early childhood, I just read one recently. That is going to give you quite a bit as well. So you want to go, some of you might find this interesting, I think, with media. Yeah, maybe not. But you want to go on and reduce. And so what else can you add in? So if it was, remember we go to our advanced search, social and emotional development in early child carries through. Let's look at screen time. So let me search there and see what comes up. 39. So some of you who are looking at screen time and social and emotional development, this might be your way of searching. So you get a lot more manageable. What was it? 40, 39 results come up, a lot more manageable than, the huge, 4,000 that's coming up. If you search and you go through all the different filters, you write your questions in, and if you get like two articles, you are narrowing down too much. You're getting too specific. You might have more words. Like you can't just don't cut and paste your question and put it in the search bar. That's not going to work. You want to take those key terms that you're using: social emotional development, depression, screen time. I'm trying to think what else you guys are interested in. I'm drawing a blank. Language development, academic outcomes. And so, those are the types of things that you're wanting to look at. Some of you were, or at least one of you was comparing only children to, multiple siblings. And so the effects of having siblings. And so you'd want to include like that household composition if you're thinking about, the effect of other relatives living in the household. Only children versus siblings. So those you want to, if you're having the opposite problem where you're only getting, 10 or fewer, even I'd say 10 or fewer results coming back to you, then you want to kind of open up. You have the opposite problem. So open up your search terms a bit, make them more broad. And if you are having difficulty searching, let me know, reach out to me, and I can help as well. So that is PsycInfo. Like I said, if you have issues that you're just not finding, you're having trouble finding the articles, the results aren't coming back, to let me know and I can help. Other than that, take care and good luck with the literature sources assignment.